Hello, welcome to another video, and today we're going to be discussing about Weston McKennie. So, Weston McKennie has had an amazing season for Juventus during this season. Yeah, I'm going to be very honest, he has had a very amazing season, and if you speak to many Juve fans, they will they will tell you he has had an amazing season. But Juve are selling players, they might have to sell some players, and Weston McKennie might be one of them. And one of the main competitors for his signature is Tottenham Hotspur Spurs. So today we're going to be discussing about Weston McKennie to Spurs. Okay, so today we're going to be discussing about should Weston McKennie go to Spurs. So let's begin. Okay, so let's go over a little player overview. But before we continue, I'd like to tell you guys to do one thing: like and subscribe, because it is very important that you guys like and subscribe so you guys can never miss another video. So let's begin. So player overview. Shouldn't we do a little player overview? 23 years old, still very young. He is a very young center mid, and he has grown a lot since the 2 years. Like and when he was 21, I believe he was a pretty raw talent. But right now, he looks like a borderline world class player. If I'm going to be pretty honest, I wouldn't want to inflate him that much, but actually, like, he looks pretty damn good. Center mid. He plays at Juventus, which is arguably the biggest club in Serie A history. Great dribbler. He's great at dribbling right at players. Good engine. That is the most important thing about him. His good engine. Like he can play you a full 90 comfortably. Good defensive coverage. This guy can be anywhere when defending. Like, you can be like 20 feet away from him and he can catch up to you like that. Weston McKennie is a player with a great engine, and he has great defensive instincts as well. When it comes to playing offense, he tends to sometimes be coming in between the lines, like a pretty smart player. He does. He does have great positioning to him. If I want to say if he needs some work to do, it might be on his end product. Like that, if he improved his end product, he will be an amazing player. And if he's pretty good on the air too as well. But if he improved his end product with shooting, and I believe with the timing of his passes and how much force does he put into them, I believe this guy can become a very great player in Europe. So I believe he has the tools for the Premier League. Like American players that come to the Premier League, like Christian Pulisic, they arguably do not have the tools for the Premier League since it's a very physically demanding league. But a player like Weston McKennie that is everywhere, I believe he is the right type of player for the Premier League. So yeah. Now let's go to club overview. Spurs right now are in sixth. It doesn't sound that good, but look at they're currently right now about 4 points off the top four. If not 4 points off the top four, so that's very important. Uh, Former Juventus manager Antonio Conte is their manager. Antonio Conte is a very amazing coach, in my opinion. He rebuilt Inter. If I'm gonna be honest, he rebuilt Inter. Like, Inter now have players like when Inter won the City A, they had players like Romelu Lukaku, Lautaro Martinez, Perisic, Brozovic, Skriniar, Stefan De Vrij, Handanovic. It was an amazing team. Like, it was mainly built by Antonio Conte, if in my opinion. I think Akraf Hakimi was part of that team as well. And oh my goodness, I'm just going everywhere with my highlighter. I'm sorry. Uh, he so Antonio Conte is a very amazing coach. They only scored 23 goals. Mediocre offense, in my opinion. Mediocre. It's not a bad offense, but with considering the amount of talent they have, like Hillman Son, Harry Kane, Lucas Moura, and most of the time they rely on their offense. They do rely on their offense a lot to bail them out. But this season, good for them, they had a pretty decent defense, only receiving 20 goals. So that's pretty decent for Spurs. Look, at Spurs have signed Emerson Royale. They have obviously signed players like Reguilon has improved a lot this season. Christian Romero has been very amazing. Davinson Sanchez has had a pretty solid season. Eric Dyer, like he's trying his best to stay away from becoming the English David Luiz. He has had a pretty average season, but still, it's not as bad as other Eric Dyer seasons. So yeah. Other midfielders that Spurs have is Emil Højbjerg, Oliver Skip, Giovanni Lo Celso, Harry Winks are the other center mids. So obviously that's a pretty good if you compare it to Juventus, who have Adrian Rabiot. Manolo Locatelli is a very good player, but look at I think Emil Højbjerg is arguably no, he is the best midfielder at Spurs. So I think Manolo Locatelli is better by a bit. I think, in my opinion, uh, Adrian Rabiot is a pretty average player. In my opinion, he's a pretty average player. Bentancur, average again, average. Aaron Ramsey, awful player. So obviously, you might give the edge to Spurs since they have more depth. But okay, Manu Locatelli, like that holds a lot of weight. But as well, Emir Højbjerg. So yeah. So a step up in competition. The Premier League is arguably the best league in the world. It's best league in the world. Serie A is good. Like I'm gonna highlight this. Most people are gonna say, "Oh, you don't rate the Serie A. Oh my goodness, you don't know nothing about soccer or football." Look, the Serie A is good. Like let's be honest, it's a very good league. It's competitive. It has gotten better. Like look, during the 2010s, I believe it was a monopoly. Juventus won the league always, always, always. Napoli was always the one that gave them the most fight, in my opinion. But look, up until now they have players like AC Milan. They have Juventus as well. Napoli, they have Inter Milan. Roma has been pretty decent. So now there's more competition, and the Serie A is more competitive right now. So I'm gonna give Serie A its credit over there, but still, it's not the Premier League. The Premier League has the big six: Manchester United, Manchester United, Man City, Chelsea, who else? Arsenal, Spurs, obviously, and Liverpool. So yeah, that's pretty much the big six. And let's say West Ham right now are a good team this season. So again, that might be a big seven over there. Newcastle just got They just got new owners. So obviously, the Premier League is a pretty competitive league. It's the most competitive league in the world. So it's considering the amount of money that's put it into. So EPL is just on another level. Let's be honest over here. Midfield competition, midfield competition, a little more competitive, like a little more, not a whole lot. Like look at Oliver Skip and Giovanni Lo Celso for me are pretty brilliant players. Like most people say, "Oh, Giovanni Lo Celso hasn't been good enough for Spurs." Like, look, I think hasn't gotten the chance. But we're not here to talk about Spurs, okay? I believe Spurs does have a little bit more talent, but look, Juventus has the more proven players, in my opinion, as well. Tanguy and Ndombele can as well play at the 8, but Spurs are currently planning to sell him. So yeah, Max Allegri is a good coach. He's a good coach, but Antonio Conte is a world class coach. Like Max Allegri, a good coach, but okay, most of his titles he won it when Juventus was when the Serie A was in a monopoly, and he won most of those titles with a nearly unbeatable Juventus team. Antonio Conte built Inter. He rebuilt Inter, and he made Chelsea champions of England in his first season. So again, yeah, Antonio Conte is just a better coach. So yeah, playing in a more stable club, Juventus needs to raise money. They need to raise money. Juventus are in legal trouble. Like this is one of Juventus's owners. I forgot what his name was. It was I'm not gonna try to say it because but they're currently right now in legal trouble. They are investigation for transfers and something that they did like so they can buy players for cheaper prices. And they're currently right now being investigated. So yeah, Juventus always are in legal trouble for some reason. Like let me remember, Juventus were in the 2000s. They were relegated for bribing refs. So Juventus are one of those clubs that are always in financial trouble. Spurs are financially alright. They're financially alright. Like Daniel Levy just doesn't want to spend. Like I sometimes feel Daniel Levy doesn't want to spend it, and when they do spend, they spend it in dumb ways, like Tanguy and Dombele, while you have Christian Eriksen and Dele Alli. Ah, yes, that's a that's an amazing idea. That's an amazing idea. Um, Let me see what else was a dumb spending from them. Like buying Giovanni Lo Celso and Tanguy and Dombele, two number 10s on the same transfer window. That was pretty dumb. Uh, Not selling Dele Ali when you should have, like after 2018, just sell Dele Ali, just sell him, but they didn't want to sell him. It was one of the dumbest mistakes Spurs has ever done. Like you can get 80 mil by selling a flop and Dele Ali, someone who cares more about his hair than playing soccer. So yeah. Final review: 5 out of 10 move if this ends up happening. 5 out of 10 move. Look at Weston, McKennie should go depending on Juventus' situation. Let's say Juventus are fined like a hefty amount, and they're gonna have to sell him or sell some other players like Federico Chiesa. Alvaro Morata has been linked, but that'll kind of be more of a win. Aaron Ramsey, they might have to get him out as well, and that's gonna be a big W for them. But Big L is gonna be losing Matthias de Ligt. And once Bonucci and Chiellini leave, Demiral is pretty much going to be the only good center back they have. If you're considering that if they spend big on somebody. So yeah, Juventus are pretty much screwed. If 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 the financial situation gets even worse, and the legal trouble, and they get into legal trouble as well. The Premier League is obviously a big step up from Serie A. It is. It's not a big step up, but it's a decent step up. Both leagues are the top five. I'm not gonna be getting no hate for this. Both leagues are top five and competitive. Like I'm not in no way, shape, or form am I saying the City has a bad league. It's a good league. It's a great league, in my opinion. But the Premier League is just world class. It's just on another level. So yeah. Weston McKennie would have to compete harder. He would have to compete harder for a spot. Like Antonio Conte is a player. Antonio Conte is a manager that demands a lot from his players, and he will try to show that with Weston McKennie. So yeah, Juve are in trouble. Spurs are not. Both are. Both teams can reach the Champions League. Like they're out of the top four, but it's pretty real for them to reach the Champions League. So if he wants to play Champions League, obviously it's either one. Juve may have more stable management. Like I'm here to say this. Like Massimiliano Allegri is not going to be getting fired anytime soon. That's what I'm going to try to tell you guys. Okay. Do you guys really think that Antonio? Okay, if Antonio, it might be in the new manager syndrome. Like it might be, like when teams get better with a new manager, and they can go trash real fast as well. However, it can go 50-50. Like if you were still in the Champions League, and Weston McKennie might want to stay a little bit longer. Like if I were Weston, for me, if I was Weston McKennie, I would wait till the until the summer. Right now, January transfers are raw. You do not know how they can shape you up. Like January is mostly for loans. Like let's say you need that extra boost. You get a player on loan, and boom, you are a rocking man. You are rocking. And if I were Weston, I probably wouldn't go to Spurs. I'm just saying, just wait until to see how if Antonio Conte is really doing good over there, or it's just a new manager syndrome. So yeah, uh, that's pretty much it. Weston McKennie. If I was Weston, I'd probably wait until summer because those where better offers will come. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Oh, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.